General Committee meeting to order. Will everybody please rise for the prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to come together this evening in the interests of our children. We thank you for the safe return of our family from their holiday travels, and we ask your special blessings as they begin the second half of our school year. Please give us the wisdom necessary to do your best work for your children and the courage and strength in our decision-making as we strive to represent what is best for all of our children. These things we pray in your name.
Mr. Long, will you lead us in pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Boche, roll call, please.
Ms. Aceveda and Mr. Campbell are not with us. Mr. Egan?
Here.
Ms. Jackson? Ms. Lemoyne? Ms. Dysart? Mr. England?
Here.
Mr. Long? Mrs. Smith? Mr. Warner?
Here.
And Ms. White.
Thank you. Ms. Dysart?
Thank you, Mr. England. At this time, I'd like to take a point of privilege. Over the holidays, we lost several of our educational leaders and members. We lost Kathy Dotrieve, who was the first valedictorian at Andrew Jackson High School in 1970, and then became an exceptional math teacher and was with us for many, many years. She retired from the school system. She taught at Andrew Jackson. We lost Jimmy Abair, who was a Chalmette High School alumni and renowned for his football abilities and just a great guy. And he taught with us at Chalmette High. He taught carpentry and in special education, and he was a great loss to our family. And then one of our students just recently, Devin Hill, who was an exceptional student and football player at Chalmette High School, and just wanted to take a point of privilege and also to take a moment of silence for Kathy Dotrieve, Jimmy A. Bear, and Devin Hill. Thank you. Thank you, and our deepest condolences go out to the Dotrieve, Abair, and Hill families.
Right, our condolences go out there.
Thank you very
Most
much.
definitely. Thank you, Ms. Dysart. Okay, we'll go on to item number 4, Super News. Ms. Snyder, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So, to start things off, I did want to share with you all that 2020 has begun, and we have started to get some really great news. As many of you know, January is about the time that we start to hear about senior scholarship recipients. As you are aware, we did get the great news that 5 of our seniors received the Posse Scholarship, which on average is about $250,000 worth of academic scholarship. We did have and I want to make sure I don't say this wrong, a Quest Bridge to Notre Dame as well, separate from the Posse scholarships, and then we have another West Point appointee. So it has started off really strong. Yes. Congratulations.
And tell them where the Posse winners are going this year.
Yep, so Westland, we have 2 Illinois Westland students. We have 2 Villanovas and 1 going to Notre Dame.
And then the Quest Bridge to Notre Dame,
as
so
well.
it's 2 to Notre Dame and then West Point.
Yeah, so it's a really strong year for the 2020 class. We're excited to see where the rest of the scholarships fall in line throughout the semester as those come in, but that is very exciting. We also wanted to share with you all that we just got news that 6 of our senior music students made the Louisiana Music Educators Association District Honor Band. All 6 of these students are in our Talented and Gifted Music program. That concert is going to be at Tulane this Sunday at 2 p.m., and we'll have a press release out about that in the next day or so. Before I share too much more good news and get ahead of super news, I also want to wish good luck. Tomorrow we'll be hosting our Student of the Year competition here at the district office for our 10 Students of the Year. We want to wish them good luck. We also wanted to let you all know we are hosting the 12th grade Regional Student of the Year competition in February. And we have a school board member from St. Charles visiting us today, so one of their seniors will be joining us for that regional competition, and that will be sometime in February. So we're looking forward to celebrating all of the students in the next month or two. And without much further ado, I'm going to hand this back to Barry Lemoyne and Jack Jackson with this month's edition of Super News.
And now from the desk of the superintendent's office, it's time for Super News.
Hi, I'm Alex Schneider.
And I'm Barry Lemoyne, and welcome to Super News. And we'll kick things off with some
Rudolph
beautiful
the
singing.
red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
No, with other people beautifully singing. Our elementary teachers boarded school buses and sang Christmas carols in neighborhoods throughout the district, serenading students and families on what is fast becoming a holiday tradition. Great weather and camaraderie really made this a special night and one to remember.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Our CHS Voices group also took to the streets to raise their voices in song. Here, we see our costume performers entertaining guests and visitors throughout various French Quarter venues.
Our Cultural Arts Center in Chalmette was also a hub of holiday happenings. First up was the annual Chalmette High Variety Show. This year's Visions of Christmas was directed by CHS talented music teacher Jason Rusk and truly gave all of our school's performing groups a chance to shine.
The Cultural Arts Center was also the venue for a pair of other holiday programs. From Handel's Messiah, performed by the New Orleans Symphony Chorus, to the New Orleans Civic Symphony's Winter Concert, these events were truly a celebration of musical mentorship and community.
The Mural Foundation also played host to our students, allowing them the chance to showcase their talents when it hosted the annual Children's Christmas Festival at the Dockville Farm. Performing groups from across the district performed in the two performance barns, while artwork, food, and family fun were celebrated across the beautifully decorated grounds of Dockville.
And now, let's head over to ARABI Elementary for its Super News Report.
Hi, I'm Evan Dobson. And I'm Isabella Gonzalez, and welcome to the home of the Alligators and our Super News Report.
We'll get things off to a fast start with our Youth Run NOLA Running Club, an after-school club that offers young people a positive environment to build healthy habits, set goals, and make friends. Our ARABI runners have participated in the Gleason Classic Fun Run and Dashing Through the Dome at the Superdome.
We also did a turkey trot here at school and are planning a fundraising run at Torres Park for the community. Our next Youth Run NOLA event is a family fun run later this month.
Another event that we're really proud of is our annual Multicultural Night. Students at ARABI Elementary represent 15 different countries and speak a number of languages, including Spanish, Urdu, Portuguese, Vietnamese, and Arabic.
Our school also celebrates this diversity throughout the year in our music and arts program, which is a great way to bring our school family together. Our art teacher, Mrs. Carol Lambert, and the members of our art club do a great job of showcasing different cultures and customs through some hands-on activities.
And speaking of hands-on, our second graders recently took a walking field trip to the nearby coffee house. Students sipped on hot chocolate and created original opinion compositions as part of their experience. I guess that was a good way for them to espresso themselves, huh?
I guess. But our school is lucky to have such good community partners to support us. For instance, our friends at the Old ARABI Neighborhood Association donate $5,000 each year during the holidays to help some of our families. while other agencies, such as the St. Bernard Volunteers for Families and Children, Associated Terminals, COPS, the St. Bernard Businesses and Professional Women's Club, PAL, the St. Bernard Community Center all make donations to help our students and their families during the holidays.
And speaking of partnerships, our K-Kids continue to work to better the community with projects including gathering socks for the homeless during this October, working hard around our school and cleaning our playground, and organizing our lost and found. Our Christmas candygrams sold to our students and prepared and delivered by our K-Kids was also a big hit.
Thanks for tuning in. But before we go, I just wanted to congratulate my co-host, Evan Dobson, who is our School Student of the Year. Congratulations, Evan.
Thanks, Isabella, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. And now back to Penn TV crew. Bye!
Thanks, alligators. In other news, Chalmette High School got some really big news to kick off 2020 when it learned that 5 owls had received Posse scholarships. The Posse Foundation is a nonprofit organization that identifies, recruits, and trains student leaders from public high schools to form multicultural teams called posses. These scholars take part in an intensive training program for enrollment at top-tier universities nationwide. Congratulations to this year's winners.
General Andrew Jackson relied on his own special posse in his defense of New Orleans in January of 1815. Here we see some of the living history that was part of this year's Battle of New Orleans commemoration.
And speaking of Andrew Jackson, let's head over to our middle school, which bears his name, and see what's up at AJ.
Hello, I'm Alex Jorns.
And I'm Evan Jacob, and welcome to Andrew Jackson for our Super News segment.
We'll kick things off with our Hamburgers with Heroes luncheon. Students were allowed to invite a hero, a special adult in their lives, to come and have lunch with them at school. Parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, and uncles were part of the 200 people that gathered for lunch cooked by our assistant principal, Todd Larsch, and several parent volunteers. Based on the success of this event, Hamburgers with Heroes seems destined to be an annual event.
Hey Alex, maybe later this year we can have a hamburger-themed dance. We can call it a meatball. Meatball, you get it?
Wow, you're really on a roll, huh?
In other news, the holiday season was a very busy time for our course. In addition to performing at our holiday concert and the Dockville celebration, the chorus was invited to perform at several venues around the city, including the Royal Sonesta, Windsor Court, and Canal Place. Our chorus and band is under the direction of Meg Lancaster, our school teacher of the year.
In addition to band and chorus, Miss Lancaster also directs the string group. She had our band ready for their football field shows, pep rally, and the local Veterans Day parade. Miss Lancaster is a truly deserving winner for our Teacher of the Year.
And speaking of deserving, congrats to my co-anchor Alex Jorns, who was our School Student of the Year. Our Colonel family is very proud of you.
Thanks, Evan. We are also very proud of our volleyball team and its leader, Coach Crook, as she led our team to a 9-2 record and winning the New Orleans Metro Fall Classic Volleyball Tournament and the New Orleans Metro Championship. This team of young women were hardworking, supportive, and talented.
These girls are also generous, raising money for cancer research. This year, the team donated to the Triple Negative Breast Cancer Foundation in the honor of Andrew Jackson's own custodian, Miss Yvette Calliette. Congrats and thanks to all of our coaches and club sponsors who do so much to support us and encourage our interests.
Well, that's about all the time we have, but before we go, we wanted to introduce two of our district's hardworking board members.
My name is Sean Warner. I've been serving on the St. Bernard Parish School Board since 2010, and I represent District 4.
Hi, my name is Carly Jackson. I'm one of the newest school board members representing District 6.
My father started working for the St. Bernard Parish school system before I was even born. My uncle has been working for Chalmette High for over 50 years. So when the opportunity presented itself to represent my community, representing District 4 on the school board, I was all in. I jumped in with both feet.
My children and I moved to St. Bernard Parish so that they could attend the amazing quality public schools that we have here, When the school board seat became available, I made a decision to run to find another way to be able to give my services back to the community.
Obviously, the post-recovery after Katrina is what I'm most proud of, but the smaller moments that I'm proud of also include when my oldest daughter, who graduated from Andrew Jackson, was able to swear me in, and my son graduating from Chalmette High, and my youngest daughter graduating salutatorian and being on stage with the school board members. Those are some of the small moments that I'm most proud of.
One of the things that I really enjoy about being a school board member is being able to take suggestions and ideas from my children, their friends, and community members and bringing those ideas to life.
I continue serving on the St. Bernard Parish school system because I love representing my community, and I also love being part of a top-notch organization, which the St. Bernard Parish school system definitely is.
A few of the reasons that I really enjoy living in St. Bernard Parish is we have a tight-knit community, low crime, great real estate values, and most of all, our amazing public schools.
Thanks to our board members for your service, and thanks to you for joining us today at AJ.
Have a great 2020, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, Colonels. Improving health is always a New Year's resolution, but Smith Elementary has been working all year to focus on healthy eating as part of the Nutrition Welfare Program. The school received 2 grants to find creative ways to incorporate nutrition education into the classroom as part of our district's wellness policy. This project helps students learn about nutrition and establish connections between growing food and eating healthy. We are so proud of the work happening at Smith Elementary and are excited to see how this impacts the way our students think about the food they eat throughout their lives.
Would also like to give a shout out to CHS basketball coach Butch Stockton, who recently earned his 700th career win. That's the second Owl coach this year to reach that milestone, a true testament to commitment to a program and to the student athletes at Chalmette High School. Congratulations, Butch.
The Chalmette High School Band made history recently, taking part in transporting the core stage of the Space Launch System rocket from Michoud to Stennis, destined to be the most powerful rocket in the world with a mission to the moon in the plans.
Well, that would do it for today's Super News, hosted here at our own Space Center at Momus. But before we go, we'd like to congratulate all of our students of the year who truly represent all that is good in our public schools. And we'll meet these outstanding young people on next month's Super News.
Thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time on Super News, where we always let the Super News roll.
See you next time. Happy 2020.
Ms. Snyder, as always, fantastic job. Right. Keep it up. Okay. Before we go on, I just want to recognize some people that are sitting in the audience tonight. We have a board member from St. Charles Parish, Mr. Dan Robichaud. Glad to have you here, sir. Okay, we also have from Chalmette Refinery, we have Elizabeth Forrest and Dorothy Hill. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, move on to item number 5. It's education, Mr. Warner.
Thank you, Mr. England. Item number 5, FAFSA form completion.
Good evening.
Lynetta,
Yes, good evening.
how are you today?
I'm doing really well, thank you, thank you. So this evening, we're going to give you some information regarding the state graduation requirement of students completing the FAFSA form. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about FAFSA and TOPS, and then I have Ms. Holly Langer with me from Chalmette High to explain how we're assisting the parents and students in meeting this graduation requirement. So basically, the LDOE found that, of course, cost was a huge barrier to students having any sort of opportunity for post-secondary training or education. So they also found that many students were not taking advantage of the state and local financial aid that's available to them. And by that, many students were not completing the FAFSA form or any TOPS application. And FAFSA basically is the free application for federal student aid. And the FAFSA form is completed by current, prospective, post-secondary students, current seniors, And then if they do get aid, they have to complete the form every year that they're in any sort of college or institution to see if they continue to qualify. And the nice thing about the FAFSA form is students, when they apply for FAFSA, they're applying also for TOPS. That's the big thing to understand. When you do the FAFSA form, you're also applying for TOPS, Pell Grants, student work study, and even student loans. So it's an all-encompassing application. When you apply for TOPS, which we know is the Taylor Opportunity Program for Students, that's basically a Louisiana scholarship for students attending Louisiana institutions, but you're only applying for TOPS when you fill that application out. But the FAFSA is TOPS and any other financial aid you could qualify for. And we encourage parents to apply for the FAFSA early because you often qualify for much more aid than you realize. So the LDOE realized, as I said, that even students who earn TOPS needed money for other academic expenses or even living expenses in some cases. So for these reasons, they approved a policy regarding post-secondary planning, whereby it is a graduation requirement that students must complete a FAFSA form in order to graduate. So basically in 2017-2018 school year, Bessie approved this policy, and it started with the graduating seniors of 2018. So April 16th is the deadline for our May 2020 graduates to complete the FAFSA application for it to count for their graduation requirement. And of course, we are helping the parents and students meet this graduation requirement. And to that end, I do have Ms. Holly Landry here with me, and she's going to explain to you the things that we're doing at Chalmette High and the things we've done from August until today to help the parents and students meet this requirement. And then I'd like to take a second to thank Ms. Landry for all Mr. Warner, the administrators at Chalmette High, the teachers, and everyone have done to help the students meet all their graduation requirements in addition to just this one. And like Mr. Warner likes to always say, we always like to thank the elementary and middle school teachers who gave the students their foundation. The most powerful thing he says to the entering ninth graders is, please take a minute to think a teacher taught you how to read. A teacher or several teachers in your lifetime gave you the power to read. And that's an overwhelming thought, I think, to realize the opportunity that the students now have entering high school as freshmen and then actually finishing high school and about to enter post-secondary or a career, and the power to do these things were given to them by teachers as they were coming up. So he always looks back and asks the students to think back to all the teachers along the way. Although the high school teachers, the culminating experience there, they could not have made it this far without the teachers at elementary, of course, and middle school. So with that, I'd like to thank Ms. Landry and the Chalmette High administrators and teachers, and she's going to explain the things we have done, the things we have upcoming, and then the other two handouts you have. And I take a little credit because I taught Ms. Landry in high school.
Thank you. She still teaches me every day. Good evening. Thanks for inviting me. So at the beginning of this school year, we did meet with the seniors. We also had a senior night in August where parents were invited as well, and they were given all the information about different graduation requirements, including FAFSA, as well as the flyers, one of the flyers in your folder that you have. After meeting with the seniors, then we offered 2 FAFSA nights, and that was November 12th and December 5th. And during that time, we invite the parents and the students, because it's very crucial to have both of them there, because they both have a part in filling out this application. And we have computer labs set up with administrators, counselors, other teachers that volunteer. We also have financial aid office employees from Nunez Community College. They've assisted us as well to basically circulate those computer labs and assist the students and the parents in filling out this form. And we're going to have 2 additional ones, February 4th and March 10th at 6 p.m. at Chalmette High's main campus. Okay? And those dates are also on the school and district websites. So one of the forms, the yellow form, is what we hand out to the parents and the students the night of FAFSA nights. And it's just a little guide to help them, one, go step by step through the process, but also record the information that they're entering so that they
possibly can save that information so that they can use it year after year when they renew the FAFSA. Okay? And prior to them getting started, we do a PowerPoint and an explanation about just some of the tips, the common errors that happen, and some of those things would be like, first off, sometimes parents don't have email addresses or students don't have email addresses, so they do need to have their own email addresses. Also, parents realize after the fact when they're creating their own account, it says it's already connected, and they say, oh, they realize that if they have another child that they've already done FAFSA for, they have to use the same ID because it's all connected through Social Security numbers. Or sometimes the parent themselves has recently been in college and has done FAFSA for themselves. So again, that FAFSA ID needs to be used again. So therefore it leads into retrieving that old password and username. And the best retrieval tools would be their email address or their phone that they use when they set it up. They want to make sure that they verify those. Okay. And then the biggest part is the taxes. So I'll have to go find my 2018 taxes. I'm not sure where they can be. If they filed them electronically, FAFSA does have an electronic link once they get to the financial page of the application. And if they click that and they type in their FAFSA ID number or login information, it will, 9 times out of 10, it will link it, link their tax return from 2018 and populate all the fields that they need for the financial part.
That's good.
So some of the things that may cause it not to is if parents file jointly, the FSA ID for the parent that's created should be created for the parent that's listed first on the tax return. That's the only way it will link it. And then if they filed taxes with one address and then they created this account with a different address, it won't link it. So just different tips over the 3 years that we've done this that I've found, like things that's happened. It's like, okay, let's avoid this before we get started. And then the bottom line is the last thing is once they submit it, they get emails within 3 to 5 business days whether or not it's been processed successfully. And if it is, then they can log right on and view their student aid report and see how much they qualify for. And the highest amount for the grant would be about a little over $6,000 a year for grant money. Okay. So that's so then so we also, the flyer, the blue flyer is the information that they got at the very beginning of the year, and anything that I pretty much hand out, I also link it to my webpage on Shawmut High's website.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Oh, I'm
well,
sorry.
thank you very much, Ms. Landry and Dr. Lametta, for that information. Do we have any questions?
Not a question.
Mrs. Dysart.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Ms. Landry, thank you so much for coming tonight. And I think it's wonderful that Shawmut High School now instructs parents how to fill this form out. I remember when my children were in high school, and in order, to even apply for TOPS, as you said, you had to fill this out. It was a nightmare. It was like, So it's great that y'all have the nights for the explanation and help on instructing them how to fill it out, because it seemed to us very complicated, and like you have little tips. If you do one little thing wrong, it's like, golly, So it's wonderful that we're helping educate our parents how to fill that form out. So, and I think it's going to encourage more parents and students to fill it out, and they may be eligible even if they're not eligible for TOPS. So grant money and scholarship money is wonderful to help our students go on to post-secondary education. So thank you very much for implementing the FAFSA night.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Lemoyne.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. Like Ms. Dysart said, just thank you so much for your leadership for this effort, and thank you for allowing Nunez Community College to be a partner in this effort. You do such a wonderful job of working with our admission staff and financial aid staff to invite them to be a part of that night, so we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board members? Thank you very much for the information on FAFSA.
Let me make one comment
Sure,
to
sure.
parents too. There used to be a barrier because several years ago it required tax forms from the immediately preceding year. So what used to happen was parents couldn't fill it out till after, like for example right now, couldn't fill it out till after you did your 2019 taxes, and the deadline was April 15th of 2020. Well, if you had to use the most current year, the 2019 year, then you had to wait. And then there was this mad rush to get all the information in. Well, what happened then, the ruling or came down, the procedures were changed to allow the prior year's tax return. So that's not a stumbling block for parents and for families any longer, and that's why we're able to get started so much earlier than what used to occur. Because parents who would do it for this year's class are going to use their 2018 tax return, not the 2019 tax return. So parents do not have to wait. This can be done now because those returns are on file. And the amount of aid that you potentially are granted, you're potentially eligible for, you can learn a lot sooner and begin to make those plans. So that was a significant change. So if you remember from the old way and that rush, it's changed now. Come to one of these nights, work with us if you're having difficulty, because we're there to assist you, and it's not quite as onerous as you may think it is.
And just to add on to that, FAFSA does open October 1st of every year. So next year's class can start as early as October 1st.
Thank you, Ms. Voce. Remind the students, April 16th.
Yes.
April 16th. It has to be finished by, correct?
Yes.
All right, and y'all keep track of the students and make sure that they're...
The state sends us every other Friday, we get a list from
Get it
the state.
updated.
So
And Ms. Landry calls them down individually if they're not on the list and says, hey, you didn't fill your form out yet, and she has a
Right.
computer in her office, and they'll sit with the students and help them fill the forms out, and she stays on them. And every year we have one of the highest rates in the state of completion.
Well, it's a graduation requirement, so there should be 100% of the graduates, right?
Well, it's a requirement, but parents do have the opportunity to opt out if they do not wish to fill the form out.
Oh, okay.
But they have to sign a waiver, sign a form saying that they will not avail themselves of this particular program, and we have to have that on file and report that to the state, because it is a graduation requirement for our students. They either have to have it done, or the parent has to sign a form and say he or she does not intend to do it.
Right, and I credit the education that the Sherman High staff gives the parents on the importance of filling it out and the opportunities that are out there. That's why our completion rate is so high. We don't have parents opting out because they understand the value and all the aid that's out there that people don't even realize is out there. And filling that form out really opens yourself up to a lot more aid than you realize is out there.
And why don't we say again, what is our graduation rate at Sherman High School?
It's almost 96%.
What?
96%.
Great.
Just about
Which
96,
is very high within the state.
95.7%.
Right.
District-wide, which includes Raleigh, our alternative school, it's what, 91 total? Or 90?
Yeah, I think 92.
92.
Looking at Holly,
A
she
little
helps me.
bit.
I think 92.
Thank you,
She's
Holly.
younger. She's a little younger. I think it's about 92.
So district-wide, and at Sherman High School, it's 96.
Yeah,
So they do an
95.7,
incredible
96.
job of keeping a handle on this, and for a school approaching 2,000 students, it is a monumental undertaking to get to every child within these classes.
Fantastic.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
And just to
Mr.
piggyback
Dyson.
on what Ms. Voce said, our counselors do an excellent job of working with our students, and every year graduation, I think that's most of our favorite nights. But when Mr. Warner comes up and gives the number of the figures of how many scholarships our students earn, it's just, it's wonderful. It's, you know, you just get chills in, you know, hearing the numbers. Last year, was it 11 million or was it over that?
No, between 13 and 14.
It was 13,
13.
okay.
14.
That is a lot of, that is an incredible amount of money, and it didn't include tops. So, you know, the opportunities that our students are being afforded is wonderful, and it's just a, you know, great job, and it's due to the fact that our counselors and our teachers stay on top of our students to fill out the FAFSA and then to apply for as many scholarships as they can. So thank you for all of your hard work, and to all the teachers also, and the parents, you know, to keep pushing, you know, to so that our students can earn those scholarships. It's a great thing. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dr. Lametta and Ms. Landry.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mr. England.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. We'll move on to item number 6 with the executives. Ms. Dysart, please.
Thank you, Mr. England. Next item on the agenda is a resolution for the date, time, and place of regular monthly meetings. In your folder, you have that resolution, and the only dates that are changed, the Committee of the Whole will meet on the second Tuesday of each month, and the fourth Tuesday would be our regular meeting, except for the exceptions, February 18, 2020, May 19, 2020 for its general committee meeting. I think that's because of graduation, right? We had to change it. November 17, 2020 for its regular monthly meeting because of Thanksgiving, and December 15th for its regular monthly meeting because of Christmas. And I guess we need to read it into the minutes, but we could do that at the regular meeting. Okay. So is there a motion to accept? Mr.
I'll
Long?
make a motion, recommend it to the full board.
There's a motion from Mr. Long. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. White. Any discussion or questions? There being none, please cast your votes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Mr. England?
Dysart. Very good. Okay, moving on to item number 7, personnel changes for the month of January 2020. Ms. Foche.
Before you, just for informational purposes, you'll see the changes since our last board meeting. Very few, and hopefully that will continue in this fashion. So,
That's very positive.
yes, any questions, please feel free to ask.
Any questions from Ms. Foche? Okay. Move on to item number 8, superintendent's recommendations for the regular monthly meeting of January 28, 2020.
Right,
Ms.
as we
Foche?
know, our regular meeting is on the 28th. As a result of this committee meeting, we're just announcing that at the regular meeting, we will, of course, have the election of officers for this year. It's quite a full agenda. The signature resolutions that are necessary to be passed will be done at that particular time, and we will consider 2 industrial tax exemptions at that time. First one, industrial tax exemption application number 2019025, and the second one, an industrial tax exemption application number 2018027, one by Chalmette Refining, the other by Rain CII.
Right, that's the item.
So those will be considered at our regularly scheduled meeting on the 28th.
Okay. That's it, Ms. Foche?
That's it.
Okay. Any questions from Ms. Foche before we adjourn? Oh, Ms. Lemoyne, the gala.
Thank you, Mr. England. I just wanted to take a point of privilege to invite you all to our annual Nunes Community College Foundation Pelicans and Pearls Gala on Saturday, January 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Dockville. This is our annual gala. All proceeds benefit our scholarship program. We'll have a tasting from area restaurants, lots of raffles, silent auction. It'll be a beautiful night, and we appreciate your support and participation. You can go online to get tickets on our website, nunes.edu, or through myself. Thank you, Mr. England.
Thank you, Ms. Lemoyne, and as always, you know, Nunes College is a good partner with school system, you know, with our dual enrollment and then with all the programs that y'all have over there, it's great opportunities for our students. And Ms. Foche.
Well, no, I just want you to finish
All right,
that
that's all
part.
right, that's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to remind everyone that Monday is a school holiday, Martin Luther King Day. We will not be attending school that particular day. And then the Tuesday after will also be a day off for our students, but all of our teachers and staff will be attending professional development on that day. So for parents out there, Monday and Tuesday, there will be no school for their children.
Thank you, Ms. Foche. Anyone else? Okay, we'll go on to item number 9, adjournment.
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Dyker, second by Ms. Lemoyne. All in favor? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.